guys, welcome back to That Girl with Books. I'm Ria for those of you who don't know me, and I'm here with a new reading vlog. So this vlog is about a specific author and I'll be talking about her specific series. So this series is the most controversial one, whether we talk in India or whether we talk abroad. So this series, even though it's the most controversial one, it is New York's best time selling. And while I was researching through this series and through these books or through like this author or about this author, so that I could make like a perfect video for you guys, so I was like watching interviews of this author, and then I was also watching the interviews of other booktubers or what their kind of view is, or whether they or why they feel that this is a little toxic, or why people find it controversial, or why people think that it was not a worthy one, but still it is a worthy one if we talk about. And it is also like one of the really nice ones too, with a bit dramatics in it and all that stuff. So I was like really looking forward while making this video and while doing research that you gonna definitely love my views, because I'll be looking not only the negative aspect but also the positive aspect, where I feel that the author was criticized way too much over there, and it wasn't even that necessary according to my opinion. So I'm really looking forward that you're gonna love this one. So this series goes by the name of the After series, and it is written by Anna Todd. I guess this is her debut novel, and maybe that's why it was criticized that much. And while I was talking to other people too about this series, people find it really very toxic at some point of time. So let's see what I think and what I have came across people thinking, and how I try to compare between them. So the very first novel in this series goes by the name of After. So this is the first book. In this book, the scene opens up to Tessa, our heroine. She is this little naive kind of a girl who has always lived with her mother, and she isn't aware about the outer world. Like she's not exposed to people, she's not exposed to boys, she's not exposed to drugs or any other thing. She has always been this girl who is a scholarship kind of a girl, a typical nerd, and living with her parents, and not like exactly parents but her mother, because her mother is a single mom and that stuff. And whereas we see Hardin is this bad boy with a toxic childhood, and some tragedy happened in his childhood due to which what he is, and why he chooses to be a person he isn't, and why he is this bad boy kind of a thing. So while I was reading this very first book, I came across this fact that they have introduced Tessa and Hardin in an college, and they meet for the very first time in their literature class, because they share this class, and she is like this arguing with, I guess, the teacher or Hardin, where Hardin states a different point on Jane Austen's book, some kind of stuff, and that's how the friendship starts. So on the, I guess, the next day or next weekend, we see that Tessa's roommate says that you need to go to party, you need to be this girl who is free, you are in college, you are not in high school, and you need to have fun. So they goes to this club party type house, where they meet, where she meets again with Hardin, and that's how a bet is taken, where they like kind of spend alone time in a room together, and that's how the friendship starts. So that's all the first book is about, that how Hardin pursues Tessa, and how he has turned her into from this naive kind of a girl to a person she doesn't know that she was, and now she's looking forward to be that girl. So the next book in this series is After We Collided. So this is, I guess, the second part, right? This is the second part, and in this second part we see that Hardin and Tessa's relationship's origin is discovered, that why Hardin pursued Tessa in the first place because of a bet, and it was very toxic, to be honest, but it wasn't toxic for me, because I think that happens in most of the novels, and it is like really a common plot, and it was not that much what we say like toxic, but people think that it was way more toxic because of some like really triggering stuff, which was again I think is kind of exaggerating in this one. But then we see that Hardin's past also comes back, and that past is kind of connected with this bed, that why he pursued Tessa in the first place, and Tessa has everything to lose, whereas Hardin has nothing to lose except Tessa, and he is not ready to go down without a fight. And how he fights for Tessa, or how he is ready to fight for her, or how he is ready to make her believe that whether their relationship was all kind of a lie, a fake, or delusion, or what. That's all the second part is. I really feel that second part was more intruding than the first one. The second part do have its triggering stuff, and the toxic one too, but still it was more intruding and more fun kind of, I say, because we see a really new different level to their relationship, where they have to kind of trust each other even though they don't want to. Like Tessa doesn't want to, but she initially trusts him because she loves him. So that was where I really find it intruding. So I was like thinking that why people say that it was toxic, though that part where there was revelation that why he pursued her or what it was, that was a I say a tricky plot kind of thing, but it was common, so it wasn't like toxic for me. So yeah. So the third book in this series, After We Fell, kind of focuses more on Tessa than Hardin, and what we say that in this novel, Tessa is now kind of a woman who is independent, who is looking forward to build her future, and who is like really having a true friends, which she wasn't having in the first two parts, and she is like really enjoying that life. But something happens, her father makes like a comeback, something in her what we say in her life, and she is like this, I didn't knew about you, I was having this mental image that you must have died or you live somewhere else, you have a different family. But it's like complete opposite when she sees, and when this past is revealed, and she is in middle of something, and her life is kind of unglued, and she is like her family is not her family, her friends are not her friends, and she is like really in the middle of a breakdown. She wants to rely on the only person she believes, that is Hardin, but Hardin himself is kind of furious with her because she is keeping a secret from him, and when he learns that what kind of secret she is keeping, he is like furious rather than being understandable, and rather than being like what we say a supporting partner that we say that we want in a relationship. So that was the part where I find that it was toxic, and it was the part where I agree with other booktubers too, that I find that okay, I get it that Hardin is what he is and why he is due to his past or due to his past decisions or whatever it is, but I think that he should be more understanding and he should have been more supporting towards Tessa, because Tessa was the same with Hardin, even though he was a like really difficult hero to love with, because he was kind of an anti-hero for me, who wasn't like this perfect hero. I'm not saying that a hero should be perfect or he should be like this non-anti-hero, but at least he should be like this understanding one and supporting one. So that was the part where I agree with most of the viewers, reviewers or booktubers, where I find this relationship toxic in this third book, and where I find that it should be more to it, where it wasn't. So the last part in this series goes by the name of After Ever Happy. So this last part kind of concentrates on both hero and heroine, and concentrates on their relationship, their career, their family, and even on their friends. This last part is kind of written in both perspectives, and it focuses on how the relationship has evolved from time being. But I would like to say that in this novel, it was more like that Tessa suffers from a tragedy, and something really bad is revealed from Hardin's past, due to which he kind of push Tessa harder than ever we see in last three novels, and not even just Tessa but also his family and friends. Something really bad is revealed, and to be honest, it was the most toxic and most shocking one for me, because I haven't read something like that ever, and it was really intriguing, thrilling, and what we say, kind of mortifying at the same time, because I wasn't sure whether I need to put it in a nice plot or whether I need to put in something which is really toxic for me. But again, the story was written such beautifully that I couldn't wait to finish it. I couldn't wait to put it down. I couldn't like wait to see that did they really have this happily ever after which we see in other novels, or they did not. And it was such beautifully, the character was developed so beautifully. Their development was like, one time there was a guy Hardin named, and he was like really this bad boy, but now he's overwhelmed with feelings, with emotions, with everything, only for a girl he never thought he will be. And that's all their relationship is about in this novel, in this last part, that how they have ever come. And even though with the past, whether Tessa wants to save Hardin or whether she can, because the more important or the million-dollar question is whether she can or whether she not, without sacrificing herself, because she has been sacrificing herself since the first novel we see. In every novel, in every part of this series, something bad happens, Hardin pushes Tessa harder, she comes back, and that's all the cat and mouse thing. But in this last one, it was really intriguing to see that now Tessa had started to question herself, question her ability, question their relationship, that whether it is deserve giving another chance or not. And it was really nice, so I'll definitely recommend you to read this series, like really over the top. Even though we see that what we say, that it do come under the trope that where it is a bad boy thing, high school, college love, and what we say, toxicity within it. But it was, due to some reason, it was New York's best time selling, and a movie is in the motion for the series, and two have already been released. If you have Netflix, you can watch over them. But again, it was really intriguing to read this one, so I'll definitely recommend you to read this one. Give this series overall 4 rating out of 5, because I feel that if I try to pick like one book from this series and I try to give that type of rating to it, I'll be a little partial in some novel, and I will be a little partial in the other one, because the fourth one was really good and really more including and shocking, as I already told you, than the first one. And how the character have developed, not even just Hardin and Tessa, but also the other characters. And there were so many characters, you literally have to put down a book for a minute and think that who is who and who is not. It was like really, like what we say, a kind of a mirror to the real world, where we see that friends do betray, parents do betray us sometimes, and sometimes parents also have to make tough decisions for us, and we kind of ignore that stuff, and we is like that, no, they have cheated us, they have lied to us. But every other person has a reason to do what he has done, or why he has lied to us, or whatever it is. So that was an intriguing part in this whole series, that it was kind of a mirror image to a real world. We cannot say that every relationship is this kind of toxic, but when a relationship is involved, or two people is involved, somehow their families are connected, and you never know what is in your partner's past or what is in your past, that might come revealing, and that might be toxic to their relationship, and or to your relationship, or to your relationship with your mother, your father, or whatsoever. So that was the intriguing one. And as I already told, that I'll give this novel or this whole series 4 stars out of 5. It was worth a read, worth giving a time, and it was something which you can binge read it anytime, anywhere. Once you have read this novel, or once you have read this series, you want to redo it or reread it again and again, which is again why it is one of the best New York Times selling. And I'm really hope that you're gonna love this vlog, and you're gonna love this series too, and you're gonna definitely try this one. But if you're not into that kind of genre, you shouldn't go for it. But if you are into this bad boy stuff, good for one girl, and like that you touch her you'll die type of stuff, you should definitely read this one. Like, share, subscribe, and Please press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new vlog. Thank you so much. Stay at your home and stay safe.